Deep dive on a Monday time. I think it's Monday, isn't it? It's been a long weekend worth of racing, plenty going on. Queensland's the feature carnival at the moment, along with Adelaide, so we'll spend a bit of time deep diving into both of those venues. We've got a bit of everything to get through, but Shane Ciurleo, we'll start in Queensland at Eagle Farm because you're dominant once again, carrying the rest of the team this weekend and the last couple of weeks. Do you have any moments of self-praise you'd like to heap upon yourself while you have the chance?
Look, we're trying to make it short and sweet, so I won't go through all of them. But I think a sign is that you're seeing them as good as you can is the bets you don't have and they go over. Geez, I steered. Like I did mention a few horses, on the voice updates that did win, like Nick and Over, for example. As the best blowout chance, but sort of thought Fasika and Trekking were the two best winning hopes, but didn't want to come into either of them at a price. Felt good about that. Steered away from sort of the Fender Garibaldi race at the price. Now, obviously, they've run the Quinella, but, just small things like that. Throughout the day, there's a few bets I could have had that I steered away from, and I felt pretty good because they got beat. So, that's the self-praise part of the review.
Okay.
I'll tell you, he won't be getting any praise from me, and he won't be watching the show, so I don't need to deliver a sermon about this bloke. But M-Rod was as big a disgraceful performance as you'll see on a racetrack over a sustained period of the whole day. 3 rides that he put in on Saturday were an absolute joke. I don't know what's going on there, whether that little bit of rain might have scared a few or something's gone wrong there, but completely just out the back, not interested, jogging along and just not putting horses into the race was quite extraordinary. I'll go through a couple.
Is he half? I think all of us here, I'd be out the back.
It's not up to us. We don't ride for a living, so it's like I don't know.
Should they have been riding?
Yeah, they're the greediest. It's the greediest professions on earth. And there's a little bit of precipitation. It's a Group 2 day. What do you reckon they're going to do?
They're going to ride, but a bunch of them, the older ones probably. Now,
if that was Wednesday, and the main race of the day was 22,000 to the winner, they're not getting out of the sheds.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So maybe he's mentally said that to himself. I'm not getting out of the sheds because when you saw it on TV, geez, it looked very, very hairy.
The track wasn't that bad, though, was it?
The track was okay. This visibility for one race was pretty bad, and unfortunately, that was a race that I bet into. And then I think after I hit the bet button and hit the send button to the subs, they had 2 inches in 15 minutes or some bullshit. So it was horrible.
Does it still remain a good 4 for most of the day, Eagle Farm?
Yeah, 200 mils of rain's not going to dampen it.
Seriously, it copped it really well, and I reckon it was improving again by the last 2 or 3 races.
Yeah. Look, Emrod's been a star, right? So was Boomer Harvey. Now, Boomer Harvey's gone back to play District League for Essendon or something, and still kicks 6 a week and still dominates. Emrod has dropped back in class, back to Queensland just to see out his days in the sun, but he's not in the same league. Just another bum on the seat there, Sadie. He's riding for the biggest stable in Queensland. He's got to be better, and I'm going to illustrate a couple of. We'll start with the last race, Garibaldi. I mentioned this horse on Twitter last night on the punting form podium data for Saturday. This horse has run the fastest last 6, 4 and 2. It was something else. I'm going to just do my very best here with the share my screen for you. Here's one I prepared earlier.
Live and dangerous deep diving time. Very slow tempo is what you're talking about, Curls.
That work?
Yep.
Just checking your other tabs are all okay.
They are. Why do I press play here? Hope that's not too blurry. But you'll see, I'm going to just just skip this along a little bit here. You'll see the horse out the back, Garibaldi, right, last. That's okay. That's regular pattern. The other horse that was in the market is Fender, who goes forward for Bowman. Is that too blurry? Can you see the horse that's last there?
Yep.
You can see it.
Okay, so the horse is last here, right? Well backed favourite. Now, I don't know about you, but like if you're on this favourite, you'd expect it to have an uninterrupted run from the 600, working into the race with cover, pulling to the outside, and just getting over the top like it has for its last 3 runs. And this is where the error's made here, like just at the 800 metre mark, decides to go inside the horse in front of it. Now, there's only one other horse in the market, that's Fender, in the blue colours, in the 1-1 Bowman, so, gets the peach. Meanwhile, Emrod back in the ruck, went to go inside them for no reason, had to sort of wait for that one in front of him to get going. You can see there he's still second last now. He gets clear air with the white sleeves. He's the only horse like to break 12 seconds for the last furlong for the day. Understandably, it was off a slow tempo, but irrelevant because it was a moral beat, and that's all just blokes like us that are analysts and bet for a living that want to tweet something cool on a Monday.
Do you think maybe because they're good Sydney riders up there, like the rods of the world are trying to be a little bit better than they are? Overthink it, bit too cute.
Maybe it's just like settle where it's easier. I don't know if that makes sense. So I take the easy option. I don't know. Like that was just like brainless. I don't know how Gollan's going to cop that. I mean, I think Rod's benefit right now as he rides down in the weights a little bit, where someone like Ryan Maloney, you guys that don't follow it as close as I do, but if R. Maloney takes a horse at 55.5, 56, there's often a late rider change later in the day because he can't get down in the way. So with these horses up in weights, Maloney will be back on them for sure. That was just one of a few examples there. Paladas was another one, just given completely none. But anyway, I think the ride of the day was in race 8. James Orman rode Nicanova. Probably just wanted to highlight for this race here, just basically the first 50 metres of the race, or first 150 metres is where he won it. You watch here. Actually, they do take a while to jump here because Rod nearly falls off Vega 1 in the gates. You'll see here the red colours, white blinkers. Orman sort of grabs hold straight away, then dives straight to the fence. See this here, like he's into the horse to take a position on the rails. Meanwhile, you've got like brainless rides on horses like Master Jamie and Emerald Kingdom, like just hunting up 3 and 4 deep. Now, Master Jamie's a horse that's already got a ticket into the Stradbroke. Like he's had a proper gut buster there, 3 and 4 deep. You got to wonder sometimes what these guys are doing. Orman was pretty patient. Obviously, he knew they were going hard, so once he found the rail, he's just sat back there and just sucked along. He sort of half got on the back of Trekking, who was really disappointing in the Godolphin colours there. Fasika was the other one in the market in the black colours that led, and they were the two I thought would fight it out. And at the furlong, I thought, that's pretty well right. Fasika's lead got softened up, Trekking off its back, it's going to get over the top. They pair off sort of thing, and Vega 1 looked like sort of making a bit of ground, but, old Bossy's a Group 1 rider only. And then you got Jay Orman back to the inside on Nicanova in the white blinkers there, with an absolute peach of a ride. And that was, probably wins anyway, maybe if he comes around him, I don't know. But still, it was a great ride. The worrying part there is Panino down the outside in the blue and white diagonal stripes there at about $1 billion to 1 has got up to run third. And, beaten home those other 2 Sydney horses. So, look, it's a bit of nothing's clear cut from the day as far as these horses are going forward, into races like the Doomben 10,000, who Nature Strip was an early favourite. It's because Uncle Chris announced he was going there, but now he's in the paddock. And a few of these horses going to the Stradbroke. So, Nicanova's the one that I'd want to follow off that. He was first up into that race. He's going forward for sure. Don't know what to make of the others, really. It's still wide open. I think we'll see some fresh horses on the scene in the next couple of weeks.
Well, Mark Rhoden, Fasika's run basically the exact same figure as it ran first up when winning in Sydney. It's 8.6 versus 8.3. So what do you do with a horse like that going forward? Is that almost like, do you believe in a flat run second up as such, or do you think it's just building a platform for something better?
Yeah, it'd be a bit forgiving considering how she was taken on there. I think that Saturday's figure on PF might be inflated a bit just by the fast pace of the race.
Yep.
Compared to the Sydney run. And also, as Curls pointed out, there was a 100-1 chance running third, I think. So its figure's probably inflated just by, being dragged along with them in the fast pace. I'd worry about that. Look, she didn't come up in the spring, and I thought she was gone. And, excuses Saturday. Good win in a pretty strong race against her own sex first up. There's a race further. There's certainly in fillies and mares grade, I would say.
Okay, and what are we doing with trekking then? Because he's posted an 8.3, as you said, probably overinflated by the tempo of the race. And, that's well down on what it did first up last prep. It's comparable to what it did first up the preparation before when running 7th at Randwick on a heavy 8. So, don't know.
Yeah, very disappointing on face value. The race seemed to have just fallen into his lap, and he... to not even get past Fasika is concerning.
For sure.
I guess in its defence, that split from the 400 to the 200, if you just go purely off face value, it's the strongest in the race, and he just looks like he's popped in the last 200. So if it was purely a fitness point of view...
on my stuff, just looking at it here, he did... Well, hang on, he ran second... At Moonee Valley first, was it first? Yeah, it was first up last time, and he's come out and run 4th, beaten 3 lengths in the Everest. So, and then ran second in the Manikato. So his second and third up runs were very good last time in. So it's reaching for an excuse here, but maybe that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's genuine. Some of these big beasts have to have basically a proper hard trial at the races. Like we saw a few of them on. Like Viridine had one on Saturday at Morphettville.
Well, he did.
There was
didn't he? So you could certainly make a case that that's a fitness thing and that's blown out.
Yeah. Horses do have trials at the races, unfortunately.
It's all part of doing the form, especially as they get older. You've got to be wary of that.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a couple of trials leading into that run. That was my knock. He wasn't there off a 650 jump out on the dirt. He did have a couple of trials, and there's some horses, like you say, like Fasika and even Emerald Kingdom wasn't far off from there, like at the finish, and they'd all done some work. So I thought that, he might have been a bit disappointing and sort of can't get past his Panino running third.
Where were those trials? In Sydney?
Yep.
Yeah, in Sydney. Yeah.
Was it beautiful to watch? Hear it commentated? Understand who was who?
Look, they always are. You got to knock like a length off every Sydney trial just because of the hype that you get caught up in on social media.
But you can't add too many lengths to the ones in Melbourne because you're not 100% sure it's the right horse and how far they went and who was riding it. And, how car sick am I feeling right now? And hopefully they kick these NBLs in, but when they do, all that increased wagering that will come from all that people actually betting early and in their name and then them trading that back and then the turnover, more wagering, more tax. Fucking proper trials, please.
Look, we get almost everything in Sydney. The one thing we don't get is a shoe report. Like, do they still have them in Brisbane?
So the Brisbane stewards, this is a true story because I've done some investigation here. They used to do the shoe reports, right?
Yeah.
But they dropped them. So I think there's 18 voting stewards on the panel. 17 to 1 voted in favour of not doing them anymore because they couldn't be fucked. Too much work.
Fantastic. Because that was I used to do Brisbane form half a lifetime ago at IAS, and the shoe reports and the trials were just gold, I thought.
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
But they can't be fucked, right?
Is that what it said? Can't be fucked.
I didn't read the minutes of the meeting, but that was
translated.
It's too much hard work. I mean, they've got to do the shoe report anyway, right? The stewards have to know. The trainers have to submit what shoes the horses, whether they're plates or heavies. So the stewards still compile that data. But they just can't be bothered uploading it. So, mate... I take that back. But, there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't scan that document and post it with the other info for the trial, apart from being too lazy.
All right, very good. Curls, do you have one other horse to follow out of the meeting or something? Something that we can make some cash off?
really like the return of Miss Hipster. She's a big, strong filly. Looks like a 1,600 metre type. Like you'd think, geez, this horse could go all the way to the JJ Atkins. But, she's showed gates. She's showed a lot of speed. She led and won on debut when she showed speed here again to put herself in the race. And I think she might be doing things that she shouldn't be over this trip. And I think there's something about her. I look forward to sort of following up again, over a little bit further. I think she's certainly one to follow for the 2-year-olds. Certainly for the Queensland 2-year-old, she could well be something out, something that really explodes this time around.
Okay, lovely. Mark Rhoden, we've got you on the show. Let's talk about the Hawkesbury Guineas, because this must have been a little bit of a grey up race, watching Exo Boom with Sammy Clipperton just stroll down the outside after we backed it at Hawkesbury last start with J-Mac on board, and what was it? It was $2.30 or something into $1.60 or
something. Yeah, very, very short, and couldn't get past Louvois, who, in its defence, Louvois did go to a new level that day, just pulled the pull run out on speed at 33-1 or something. But we were saying a few minutes ago about horses trialling in public. I think that was very much a tune-up run, and that's my mistake. Obviously, this $200,000 race is the target race. It's not going to be at its peak off the break in the $50,000 race. So that's the way it's transpired. But what I was certainly prepared to be forgiving of that run, and wanted to suggest it could go back through its best, but I couldn't get it there with Clipperton and Barrier 10. I thought it mapped awful. Whatever happened first up, you just can't treat McDonald's and Clipperton as a plus, but the market did. It was solid on the totes, solid everywhere. It never got past $7 or $8, and with an odds-on favourite in the race. So too good there. He looks basically just gone to what he can do, and that I think we were all, and the market included, were half projecting Ellsberg forward off his first up run. If he just took it at face value, he probably wasn't a $1.90 shot or an even money shot, and he's actually come back off it. When he couldn't get control of the race, that was pretty much the end of him. So that's a little concern from going forward. His two big figures with me have both been when leading and leading on his own. So if even sitting outside lead or 1-1 is going to mean he doesn't go to his best, that's a chink in his armour, I reckon.
Yeah. When I look at the punting form data, Rhoden, the meeting looks pretty shithouse. Is that how you'd assess it, or do you adjust it a little bit?
I think it's about what it...
And is it usual for it?
This is about the standard of what you get at the Hawkesbury standalone. The one that's doing my head in, and I haven't worked out the answer, is the Cup, because the horse from Melbourne or Adelaide, Ciurleo, what's it called?
Ciurleo Image.
Was leading by about 6, and they reckon it's gone 10 lengths slow to the 600, which is possible, but it's also possible that stalls running on spot, I think, here, because the overall time just does not match up with the 1,400 and 1,500 metre races. It was the only mile race on the day, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb. So I'm not quite sure. To the eye, Archidemus and Royal Celebration put 2-3 lengths on the rest of the field. They must have gone to their best. They can't have gone 10 lengths off their best and run like that. It's just not possible. So I'd say there might have been an issue. They might have to get the meter wheel out there and redo the distance, because I think it might have been a bit further than 16.
Yeah.
Big show already, actually.
You do see that, though, don't you? Where you just get these bizarre data figures, and you just have to think, well, if everything's being done correctly, then there has to be some other issue, some other little variable that isn't being taken into account. So, are
we whacking the stewards there, or who's to blame for that, if that was the case?
I think the stewards have ultimate responsibility, but it'd be the club who...
All right, so we're 2 from 2. New South Wales and Queensland have both copped a whack. Let's see if we can get all 4.
Just on that race, there's a horse there that used to go really good in Queensland. Looks like Elvis.
Yeah,
he's back
down south. He's gone down south to Austin.
Jared Austin.
Jared, sorry.
Yeah.
It's time for him to come home, I think, Mark. It's a good time of year. Like he's just not quite there, is he? In that sort of grade,
he's run some really good races in Sydney. Ran 5th in the Epsom. I backed him in the Shannon when who beat him? Oh, the Rob's horse beat him.
So he'd be winning hopes in these Brisbane Winter Carnival races, wouldn't he?
He would at his best, I'd say he raced better in the spring in Sydney than he has in any of his starts in the autumn so far.
This is a horse that was like first start was half dead and just exploded, and we were all like, "Oh, where's this going next start?"
That was in the spring, yes, when Clisco rode it. And it was 100 to 1 that day.
Yeah.
Wasn't suited for about 4 starts in a row.
And then threw it in things like the Epsom, which it was just outclassed. And still went fifth. Went fifth in a great run, really. I mean, poorly placed. Probably handicap rating's going to take a while to come down to get in at the right weight in the right race. It might be.
Luckily for the jocks down there, if they do put in a dodgy one, they just have an adjourned inquiry and just play on until the big races are over.
That's right. But on Elvis, he was 470 is the official SP. Jesus, that was real short. I don't know where that came from because he sort of napped to get back as well. That was,
he might have jumped well.
No, but this was on the not the BSP, the official. Yeah, so it was well back before that.
Good show, guys, so far. Where to now, Peter?
Settle down. And I'm trying to keep everything under control because I've got a guy using the blower vac outside. I guess it is 9:45. Normal people do have jobs.
Yeah. Are you making notes of when we've said stuff that we should probably think about cutting?
I'm clicking a little button. It just timestamps them for me. So if there's a few little silent moments, you'll know why.
He's going to go until he says something that's definitely going to have to get cut.
Well, he's going to.
He's not convinced he's got cut yet, so he's warming into it.
If I was going to watch a live performance of Peter Rabbit, I'd probably be doing the same thing. Okay, let's have a chat about Morphettville because we sort of had a few stabs and a few cracks. And I mean, for anyone who backed Prophet's Thumb along with myself, the fact that he settled in front of Craig Williams in the Sangster, left the fence, went searching for runs, ran up backsides constantly for the entire straight. Even on the line, he was still up someone's backside. And then Williams has sat on the fence and went straight through. Are people calling it a masterful ride? No, he got into a pretty awful spot.
Masterful ride?
Yeah, it was just...
It was like... It was some of the worst riding of all time up there on Saturday. And listening, like, sometimes I leave it on, which is hard because that race call is, I'd say, the most painful in the metros.
Yeah, lost a few links since leaving home.
Don't listen to Queensland.
Not often because racing in this great country you have to change the channel, so you might forget to do that. It's unbelievable. I do normally have the little transistor going, so I don't miss any races, but real quiet. But the positivity about some of this shit on Saturday that happened there, and then just neglect of like painfully dumb tactical rides, it was hard to cop. I reckon we should start in Adelaide. Like we made prices and we bet. Was that a mistake?
What, betting in Adelaide?
Yeah.
I think every time I do form in Adelaide, it always looks good on paper, and then I watch it unfold. I think, why the fuck have I bet in Adelaide? I'm just never doing it ever again. And it's like a once-a-year cycle. It just keeps going around. So I'm clearly insane.
There's other ways to measure... There's other ways... I agree. 100%. That's how I feel. But there's other ways to measure it that... Like, we had a good bet at Mizzy at $7 or $7.50 and it started $4.50.
Did zero.
Yes, but Mark Rhoden already declared that on Thursday. He shot me down Thursday.
I think
couldn't have nailed that any better.
lots of what you said's right. Like, this horse should have led, didn't. They've gone disgracefully slow for a group run, for a group one.
Yeah.
Disgracefully slow. It's down in the coffin going too slow, and it lost momentum going too slow.
But it's been beaten 200 metres. It shouldn't have been there. The horse has had enough.
Yeah. But the market, the market come for it big.
Yeah, well, that was Map, I think. Well, predicted Map.
Right, for sure.
But, this horse is over the top, and a trainer who trains more than 0 winners a month will probably pick that up.
I reckon there was a bit of the market, off what you said and off a bit of research I did, he hadn't gone over to Adelaide.
Ever?
So it's had like a week and a half in basically a new camp, freshening up.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a strange one.
But for the race to go that slow and the seas to part like they have for Willow, completely blessed.
Oh, look! I tell you what. One thing too out of that race. You might have picked this up before. She hasn't Brooklyn Hustle. Jeez, it hit the line well. It put it on.
Just wait till it leads one day. No, hang on. Yeah.
No, I ran the fastest last 200 of the race, but
back to next start.
What again? Beyond me next start. Beyond me forever and ever.
I reckon the horse that we called it last time, and it is
Ruby
flying, is Ruby Saki.
Yeah.
I guess it has one more start in Adelaide, probably then heads to you, Curls.
Yeah.
That's 2 big runs in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, what they should probably do is bring it up here and put M Rod on it and settle last and run the fastest last 100 of the last 600, 400 and 200. Now, there's plenty of, there's a Group 1 mares race like last, end of the carnival.
Yeah.
Like the Tats Tiara or something like that.
One of those breeders group ones.
Yeah.
Is it 1,500 though?
13, was it?
Is it 13, is it? Okay.
I've changed it, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it used to be the Winter Stakes, and I think it was 1,500 then, but it's changed a bit.
Well, there'll be a race for it anyway, that's for sure. I don't know what to make of the rest. What else? Did we not pot Instant Celebrity?
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, mate, I completely
bagged
it. I bagged it relentlessly. I'm up to $33.
Do you know what it... Do you know those...
It did drift to $10 about.
Do you know those little... You know those elderly people that live in double-storey houses rarely affix a little seat on the handrail and they sit on it and it scoots up? That's what we do like. Zing! Attached to the fence.
It's just the grossest
I thought,
race,
like,
isn't
2
it?
races in a row, though. Like, we were against Stainham, only slightly against Stainham. And I thought, well, this thing's going to, like, mainly because of its map. Like, it's just going to be back and buried. And then it absolutely, like, steamed, crunched, hemorrhaged late. It might have started $3 this horse in the big race. And poor old Ripperito, eh? J Mott sat 3 wide no cover for almost the entirety, and it's almost won.
So what does that say about this race?
I don't know. I don't know what else he could have done. I'm saying poor, like unlucky. It's just like a car crash. They've gone a good tempo, so if he dug up to get across and lead, he's probably gone too quick. If he sneaks, he's killing it anyway. Like, but I remember like watching the finish and going, "Fuck, I think that's Ripperito," because early in the race I was like, "Oh, it's cast, 3 wide, no cover, big run," and the race is just another race. It's not a very good race, I don't think. Personal's a fucking good horse, isn't it?
Well, just loves tempo, loves this distance. Like, it's just, it'll back up into the derby whenever that is and go close. Flexible was a bit difficult to watch, though.
Oh, it was just peak William Pike on Saturday. Shit house. The best of Willie Pike is elite and just the best ever. And so great to be on when he's going good. He was shit on Saturday, and it was coincided with us finding a few of them. Like, if anyone back Lunicorn, it never got out. Not once.
Still there.
I don't know if Flexible wins. Mark, what do you think? You probably had a little interest on it too.
I did, yeah. It was hard to watch. I'm not sure if it would have won, but I won't say it got every either. Sorry, a bit going on here, but I think we're clear now. Yeah, it just looks so beautifully set up with the blinkers and the soft run, but that soft run thing might have been illusory because she is a horse that needs to build momentum and likes to get rolling. So,
I don't think anyone had her settling like fucking behind Stainham.
Well, no, probably not. But that could have been, to be honest. I mean, despite putting the blinkers on, that could have been instructions because she's actually come from well back in her probably 2 best wins. And they maybe think that's the way to ride her. I think that's the wrong idea. But, I'd say the traffic issue was probably the biggest.
And there was
never
talk.
Seemed to really build momentum.
There seemed to be talk after the last, which was actually cool, that the bloke whose dying wish was to go to the races, and Willow, who does it better than anyone in this sport, like made that a great thing that it was. But I think the horse that Willow won on and gave him these goggles from, they were talking about backing up into a Group 1. It can't win if they are.
So this is Lady Dunmore.
They've run like it's punting form figures are disgraceful for a group race.
That was the BM64. That's a big call.
I think that's what they were saying though post race.
Yeah.
I was trying to listen. It was a long day. Anything else from Adelaide, Peter? Mark?
No, not particularly. I can't wait to do Adelaide form once again. I'm going to completely ignore jockeys, trainers, map, and everything next time.
Let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah.
What about poor old Rainbow? Like, it was probably Dean Holland's best ever ride. Maybe ever, but particularly on this horse. And it just stopped. Very stiff, Dean. It went really good, Rainbow, and was absolutely crunched late. Massive betting go late.
Well, the biggest, not one of the biggest, one of the most interesting comments out of the meeting for me was from Chris Kelthorpe about Media Award. Because he's 100% right. That Media Awards won a Group 1 for Chris Kelthorpe with Al Nolan. Anyone else in the world would be giving that horse to a big trainer. That was Chris Kelthorpe's words. Interesting one because he's right. Chris Kelthorpe and Al Nolan wouldn't be prolific winning anything, let alone a Group 1.
Well, I think we can all remember like Luke Nolan's ride on Kernan at Bendigo in a 5-horse race where he missed the boat. Like,
yeah. Geez, I'm critical today. I don't know. I'm looking on the bright side of life today.
Dude, Peter Rabbit will want to be on his game.
The stress around just having a 10-year-old birthday. I had 6 10-year-olds playing laser tag yesterday afternoon when the Sunny Coast races were off. And they're going to back up today. Torturous. Anyway, good on him. I'm glad that they won a Group 1 together.
Isn't it great to see another feature staying race won by the camp with narrative?
Yep. So Chris Kelthorpe joins Dennis Pagan as one of the Victorian leading trainer of stayers.
Do you reckon the models have a narrative column?
A narrative column. Who will have the best story to win it 100 to 1?
At least in Chris's defence, the horses improved 8 plus 9 lengths to win a big race. Like, Dennis was just completely kissed on the dick. I don't even think they broke benchmark.
I wonder if Dennis would have been greyed up because I read a story on tweet that a few blokes from the Lavington Footy Club had missed the game Saturday to go and watch their horse run. They got rolled in the footy, but their horse won. How would Dennis handle that being a coach/trainer?
Yeah, no, they did. All the boys, they just didn't play. They went to Adelaide. Yeah, good.
I reckon if it was Dennis Pagan training Media Award, he would have made him stay and play footy.
I reckon he would have the boxing gloves out first thing Monday, though, wouldn't he?
Can get caught.
Yeah.
Imagine those horses if they didn't race well Saturday. Geez, they'd be doing some 100-metre sprints on Monday, wouldn't they?
Wow.
Do a beep test.
Don't bring your boots, just bring your fucking runners.
Oh, waffling here, sorry.
The 90s. Okay, that's been a good deep dive. We've done a bit of everything. We won't talk about Sandown because we've got the Bool, Dickens. We've got the Bool. It's starting tomorrow. You've already done the form and the prices for Tuesday. We'll have Mounting Yard Mail courtesy of Jackson Oldham.
Oh, shit, Jackson. I hope it pisses rain every day. I've seen the forecast.
We're like a family here at the mailbag, and by that I mean we rip shit into each other more than most families. So,
I can't wait to not go to the Bool.
Yeah, no. Price is done Tuesday. The system of Jackson looking at him in the yard and me sitting at home doing the maps and the patterns and adjusting him is working extremely well. Like the Bendigo meetings that he's done, because that's too far for me as well, have been enormous. I'll price the entire Wednesday meeting today, just in case there's an emergency here at home. But definitely we'll have two days properly priced. Only going to be betting in the flat races. We'll just be guessing and throwing darts in the jumps. So that we kick off the betting in race 5 tomorrow, but he'll like look at them and tell you what they look like for the jumps races. So it's races 1 to 4 there tomorrow, and hurdles, whatever they're called. But yeah, the betting kicks off for us race 5 tomorrow. Yeah, we gave a bit back on Saturday, unfortunately. Cordilla would have made it a winning day. I don't know how they didn't win. Your mate Peter Carleen,
The Flying Fulcrum.
just swinging off it, getting it done, and but we got one back yesterday, so we've got a bit of momentum again. Looking forward to the Bool from home.
Yeah, exactly. And meanwhile, Mark Rhoden, you've got Hawkesbury Tuesday, so you'll be joining with a bit of the action. You've got Canterbury Wednesday, Kembla Grange Thursday, and then Gosford is the metro meeting, so to speak, on Saturday. You've got the Gosford Gold Cup, the Takeover Target Stakes.
Gosford on Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob
It
Scurry will
would
be
have happened
there.
last year, but because of COVID, it was run at Rose Hill.
That's right, it was too.
It was delayed by a year. I got Wagga Cup on Friday too. I'll have a look at the big races there. Thursday, Friday. Won't do the whole card, but I'll see if there's anything in the bigger races. Gosford. They raced at Gosford last on Anzac Day, and the rail was out 4, and it was the hottest rail I have ever seen on any track anywhere. I just hope it'll be back in the true. Haven't looked at the weather forecast, but I hope that's not the case again, because it's going to make it hard to bet early anyway when you're coming off a track that biased. It doesn't fill you with confidence for next time, put it that way.
What about is Wednesday the day? I remember when we did the initial betting streams, Curls. It was one of these days when we were trying to find horses that would get onto the grass.
Yeah, that was
Was it Bundaberg?
Bundaberg.
Yeah.
Is that on Wednesday?
No, it's Eagle Farm, thankfully. Or a similar type track, but and no, look, we want to talk about what I'm doing or not?
Yeah, of course.
Segue? Okay. So I had a choice to make. I go to the Bool and completely blaze me face off and get blind drunk for 5 days, or I stay home betting. And I just thought I'm going as good as I've ever gone. April was massive. I've got heaps of momentum. I've got some good meetings to be betting into, so I decided to stay home and bet rather than go and drink for 5 days. So I've got Eagle Farm Wednesday,
Very mature.
Gatton on Friday, and then we have the Hollandale Stakes Day at the Gold Coast on Saturday, where W. Pike's going to come up and murder a few.
Just you wait, Curls. Just you wait.
And then we've got Ipswich and Toowoomba as well on Saturday. So we've got 4. I've got 4 meetings that I'm looking forward to betting into this week. So that's that'll be me.
All right, you're flying. You can still get the 10-week pack for $200 if you want $20 a week. It's still going. Be going for another 2 weeks or so. Rob Scurry will be on course for Gosford, which is exciting, and then the week after he's in Adelaide. So it's all exciting at the moment. It's all happening. Big week ahead.
Maybe we should fly to Adelaide for this Saturday. Is it a big one again?
I'm not going to Adelaide.
City of Churches.
Oh, great. I'll be sure to No, I can't say that. Anyway.
All right, that's the deep dive.